Hello everyone, this is Nick and welcome back to another video. Now today I've got a printing tutorial for you, and I've actually done one of these before. I did an ultimate guide to lino printing, so if you'd like to check that out, I'll have a link come up on screen so you can go look at that as well. But today I'm not doing lino printing, I'm doing a slightly different printing technique, and today I'm doing monoprinting, which in a way is sort of similar, but it gives a really cool and effective looking print at the end if it's done really well. So as you can see, I'm not using very many materials for this printing technique. What you're going to need is a roller, some ink, some sort of acrylic sheet or plastic or a flat surface with no texture on to put your ink down on, and then something to help lift and carve away the ink. So I am using a lollipop stick, a paintbrush, or cotton buds. Now you can use whatever you think looks best, it's completely up to you, it's just down to personal preference. So what you're going to want to do is start off with by spreading out your ink onto your sheet. Now you want to make sure it's an even coating of ink all over your acrylic sheet, which is what is normally used, but I didn't have any of that, so I'm using this plastic sheet. Then what you want to do is you want to start carving into your design. When I mean by carving, I mean you're not actually carving into the plastic, you're just taking away parts of the ink to create your design. So just go through making your design. For this one I'm using a skull, but you can do whatever you want. You could do a portrait, you could do some botanical artwork, it's completely up to you. I'm using a cotton bud mainly to go through and make my design, and you just want to take your time. Be careful, because you don't want to put your hand or your fingers in the ink, because then when you print the actual piece at the end, then you'll be able to see all your fingerprints and it won't look very nice. So you just want to carefully make your way through, taking your time, and remember the parts of ink that you take off means that parts are going to be lighter. Now see, as I'm doing a skull and it's quite a dark thing, I wanted it to be quite high contrast and for the piece mainly to be quite dark. So therefore I'm being careful about the amount of ink that I'm taking away. But obviously if you want a more lighter feel, then you want to take away more of the ink, so you'd have less contrast and kind of a lighter print in the end. So I'm just going through using different materials just to create my design. You want to make sure that you use quite a decent amount of ink to start off with, otherwise the print won't really come through in the end. I also decided that in the background I wanted kind of the table or the surface that the skull is on to be lighter, and then the wall in the background or the backdrop to be darker. However, I didn't want it to be pitch black, so I kind of added a bit of texture on the background as well. So I'm just carrying on adding to my design until you are happy with the finished piece. Around about now, this is where I feel like the piece is in a good place and that I feel I'm ready to start printing. So as you can see, I've now got my finished printing plate done, ready for the next step. What you're going to want to do is you want to get your bit of paper and you want to lay it on top of your printing plate. You then want to get a roller or anything similar to start rolling out and adding pressure onto the paper so the design can come through. You need to do this for quite a while because you really want to make sure that when you lift up the paper, the design can come through on the other end. Once you've done adding all of your pressure that you're going to, then lift up the bit of paper to see your final design and print. I can see mine came out quite light, but I think that was partly down to the paper I was using. I use cartridge paper, but if you have newsprint, that is a really good bit of paper to use because that is what is meant for, to do monoprinting and other types of printing. So because mine came out quite light, I decided to add in details and darkness with ink afterwards with a paintbrush. This is absolutely fine, just the depth that you'd like, and this really helps the piece look more effective. So that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching everyone. Make sure to check out my channel for weekly art videos every Sunday. Make sure to check out all my social links and my online store. There'll be links in the description. And thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next week with another video. Goodbye.